Ester Davis from the beautiful Fisfbowl Studios in Dallas, Texas. Thank you for joining us all around the world. We have so much to talk about today. So many things have happened just in the past week alone. So let's start with a great subject of mine, which is education. My article this week is on the expect the unexpected. Expect the unexpected. There's $10,000 just laying out there for you to get. You have to be a student from one of the HBCUs, historically black colleges. And you know what? The greatest part of the show today is that the deadline is today. So I want you to log on, go into HBCU or call me. You can call two numbers. You can call the private number. You can call into the studio. For parents that are listening, mothers, grandmothers, uncles, whoever is listening, every year we turn money back in to the corporations, to the government, because we didn't use the money. So our children need the money. All right, on the cover of the post, which is also on the internet, and on the inside is my article, and that is on Get the $10,000, because we need black journalists. We need minority journalists to write our stories. And there's so many stories out there we haven't told yet. I'm always delighted to have my grandchildren around because I get the opportunity to tell them a story that some they remember, some they'll tell me, you told me that already. Well, I want to make sure you got it because I want you to be able to use it. And it will use you. So I'm going to have one of the grandsons on in a few minutes. Along with a $10,000 scholarship from the HBCU, that's really important, comes money. So there's $10,000 here, and there's a $5,000 stipend. Do you know what a stipend is? A stipend is spending money. A stipend is lunch money, party money, whatever I want to do with it. Now, don't get it out of balance, because if you do all of the partying and not taking care of the stories, we have a little bit of a problem. I have a problem. Now, along with the $10,000 scholarship, the $5,000 stipend, there is a brand new car. It doesn't get any better. Hey,
yeah.
What do you think? They get a car. They get to drive one of the electric cars. I have done this survey for General Motors. It is the cars are great. I've had probably two cars that I drove. Mm-hmm. That's another whole story. But right now, I want to open the show with scholarships. This is May. June is coming. All you got to do is take your phone and put in historically black HB colleges and universities. That's all you have to do. And you're going to get this information. On the cover, we talk about HBCU students, electrify your future with Chevrolet. This is sponsored by Chevrolet or General Motors. Mm-hmm. And the Discover the Unexpected Fellowship. It's a fellowship between General Motors and the historically black schools. And they have had it for a long time, Pastor. We've had this program. Let's see, I've been with them maybe 3 or 4 years. No, last 2 years we've had the pandemic. But it has been there a while. Most important, you heard it on the Ester Davis show. Now, the deadline is today. And I know a lot of people, why didn't you tell us earlier? Well, let me tell you something, they do it every year. So go ahead and register for next year. There is nothing wrong with being proactive about your future.
Yes.
The money is there. Several years ago, where I do get totally confused and very annoyed is that look on your phone. We turned back in more than $25 million in scholarship funding some years ago. Don't hold me down to the year. Look it up. That money, if it's not used, if it's not applied for by students of color, African Americans, Hispanics, if it's not applied for, it goes back to its original home, which is, in the case I'm talking about right now, is corporations. So we're not utilizing the talents and the tools that we have. It's called the HBCU Student, Electrify Your Future, and the Expect the Unexpected, $10,000. we will say congratulations to the new press secretary for President Biden, who's done an excellent job for our country. Let's give him all a big round of applause. Thank you, Hal. Yeah, he's doing a great job. One of the things that we have talked about on this show is the polling. I don't know where the polling is coming from, but obviously they're not polling the African American race, and they're not polling the people that voted for the president. Again, who is doing a great job. So if you're not being polled, then express and let us hear your voice. My guest is Mac. She's not a guest right now. She's homegrown talent. That's a good word for you. Homegrown talent. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Hello, everyone. Just glad to be back in the studio here with Esther Davis.
Oh, we're happy to have you back.
Yes.
All right, you are on the cover of the Elite News.
Yes, was so excited to be on the cover and to present the new ministry that's out in Haslett, Texas.
Yeah.
So just excited about what the Lord is doing. We are growing every Sunday. We're having visitors, and I'm just excited about
you're having visitors.
Yes.
What is the terrain like out there? What kind of people do you, is it
diversity? The diversity is there is not many African Americans in Haslett. Mm-hmm. It is really dominated by a Caucasian race.
Okay.
But because they got Pastor Charles out there, I come to shake some things up, and I'm trying to bring more of us over into Haslett. So I got people that are coming from Allen, people that are coming from Dallas.
Wow.
So, I'm just really excited about that. People that are coming from Fort Worth, Denton.
Yeah.
Louisville. So the Bible said, whosoever will, let them come.
And
so come on, black folks, to Haslett, Texas.
We had a fight this weekend. Let's round up our week. We had a big fight. Yeah, we did have a big fight. And the big fight was a boxing event. Now, for those of you that are not Dallasite, the guy in the center his name is Hatley. Charles Hatley the whole family is a famous family here in North Texas. The female on the outside is Chicken. Her name is Soretta. And of course, we have Ray Valentino, who is from the great community, Mexican American community. Now, we had 5 fights, and later on I'm going to have my grandson to come and tell you how great that was. And it was. Boxing is going to continue. It is a sport. It is a disciplined sport. We're supporting it because they are supporting missing black girls. Right. And they are supporting trafficking.
All right.
Roy Jones, yeah. Isn't that great?
Yes, it is awesome. Yes.
Roy Jones Jr. was here. And you can look his name up. He was on his way to the International Boxing Hall of Fame. And the guy was great. We think of boxers as being maybe incoherent. Hey, I don't even know if your mic is on. Grave, is his mic on? He's all good. Can you get a little closer? Are you ready to report now about the boxing? You're gonna do it later.
I'll do it later if you want me to.
You'll do it later. Okay, we'll talk about the. Yeah, you came in for the boxing. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked that event. Mingled.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead and give us what you thought about it. You're 21 years old. He's a hot shot 21.
All right. Come on, hot
what
shot.
What is that supposed to mean?
And we did it down at Deep Ellum, but it was great. What did you think?
It was a great match, honestly. We didn't get to see too much of it because of the ending of it, however. But it was a great bout. Charles Hatley got knocked out in the second round, sadly. But he boxed well. He is a champion with 2 belts. He fought a lower contender.
Okay.
I think his record was about 18-2, but he came and he showed him something.
He still got knocked out.
I mean, he got knocked out, but
in the second round.
You win and you lose.
In the second round.
You win and you lose.
I think we got more calls about the knockout than we have the entire evening. We were at a famous place in Dallas. The Factory. We had a sellout crowd. Everything was done very well. It was great, absolutely great. What did you do?
I escorted high-profile people to their seats and catered to them.
Okay.
In certain ways. So, like the judges, the judicial judge. I had escorted them to a seat.
Okay.
I met with, I've been talking about him this whole weekend. Ron Bolden, met with him.
Ron Bolden. Okay.
Catered to him a bit. So I was just kind of playing, I don't know what you would call that, a liaison kind of, like just making sure everything ran smoothly, got placed in certain areas.
How big is that place?
Man, I'd say probably about like 40,000 square feet, 30,000 square feet.
Huge.
And they had not had a boxing match there. To all of the judges that came, we know we cannot call your names, but the police officers of the police department who was there, everybody was there, literally. So you think we ought to continue doing that? You liked the venue, didn't you?
Yeah, the venue was great. It was just honestly great to see so many people from the community showing up just to support, Charles Hadley and Chicken, people from the community. It's nice to see.
It was nice to see the boxing community there, male and female. Christy Martin came to town. Christy Martin is a boxer, a legendary boxer. And the reason she got into the business is, as I mentioned to Pastor Charles, she's been beaten and shot.
Oh, wow.
She recovered in her career. And she wanted to come to Dallas to visit shelters, women's shelters. Well, we ran out of time on that whole cycle thing because she was in demand. Channel 8 was great. All of the networks were just marvelous to work with. But women are the ones who are the targets of abuse.
Yes.
So her message is basically concentrate on yourself.
Yes.
That's the message that she has. So I did spend some time with her. And we lost her there for a minute because, people are flying and they're driving and they don't get places on time. So we have to sort of follow up and see where they are, and that throws you behind just a little bit. We finally got her.
And the sad part about it, Miss Davis, is that we would be really surprised on what a lot of our celebrities go through on a personal level in their homes, the abuse, the drugs, the mistreatment.
Absolutely right.
Oh, we would be surprised.
Well, all that glitz and glamour is not always glamorous.
No, it's not, because if we remember what Diane Carroll said, she said, I got money, I got fame, but I don't have a man. I'm lonely, before she died. And she put her interview on TV to say to all of us women, don't go out like this.
Really?
Yes.
I loved her her early days. I remember when she had one of the first television shows, first black television shows.
Yes.
Okay.
But she told us women, don't go out lonely. No man, you got money, you got fame, but nobody to hold you at night.
How old was she when she died?
Oh, she was up there. I don't remember how old she was.
Okay.
But she had enough experience.
But she wrote a book.
She wrote a book.
And she did, I know she's done, we're talking about Diane Carroll on
Movies.
yesterday. Movies.
Plays. She's done enough to tell us younger women to, like you just said with the boxer, work on yourself.
And that's, I think we get caught up in the makeup and the hairdos and the dresses and all of the glamour.
The money.
Well, I don't know about the money. I think it's important. Let's talk about the money because we want to believe that people have a lot of money. But I remember Muhammad Ali, and we went to one of his boxing matches in another state, and his entourage was 17 people. All right? Even to put together, when I was on network, when my show was on network, it took 8 people on PAX TV and NBC to put my show together. So we leave out the cost of what things cost. I mean, Gabe is an expensive person. You have to pay Gabe. You got to pay. There are things attached to that money. So if you have, if you make $1 million for an appearance, how much of that is expenses for being there? And that's the part we always overlook.
Yes.
The boxing world is no different from any other business because it's a business. But it does help to shape lives and to give you some kind of a direction. So we're there, and it's self-defense.
And it's so funny because when I was younger, I used to want to box.
Get out of here.
Oh, yes.
Why?
Yes.
Why did you want to box?
We women get angry and we hold our emotions in a lot of times.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
we don't realize that take up a hobby to release your anger. And boxing is one of them.
At there is a Mayweather gym that we are rolling down to, and it would be in Cedar Hill. So that's one of the things to release the stress is
Yes.
start, boxing and using a boxing group. Back to my handsome grandson over here. You had some help the day of the, what was that, the weigh-in?
Yeah.
I had not been to a weigh-in.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that many people
Weigh-in.
came to a weigh-in.
So,
And I thought, where did these people come from?
a weigh-in essentially is they're just checking weights for the boxers, making sure that they comply, and then if they don't, then they have a certain amount of time to get below the weight. So it's kind of like notifying you before the actual event happens. That way you don't just show up to the event and you're overweight and can't fight, because there's weight classes with boxing. So yeah, there was a lot of gyms that came out and showed out. One of them being Montoya Gym. I met Mr. Montoya himself. I was doing a little bit of event setup for them. Met one of the coaches there, Coach D, great guy. Great guy. He was pretty fun to be around. Then I met another gentleman. His name is Khaled. He works with Cedric Brown, Kingdom Boxing Gym, and that was fun being around him. He's a light, very energetic. I met a lot of good people during that weigh-in and along throughout the match. A lot of good connections there.
Very good. So what did you take from all of this? Because you
Yeah.
seem like you had a lot of interference with a lot of different kind of people.
That's a good question. What did you take from this?
You can be black and excellent.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Did y'all hear that, audience? I love it.
Yeah, you can be black and excellent.
Yes.
And I had a little bit of a surprise because, nothing ever runs the way you have it planned.
Yes.
So for my audiences, the Dallas Police Chief had a town hall session this entire weekend. He's a great guy, Garcia. And it was in a depressed part of town. So we leave the DoubleTree at the Galleria, go all the way down to Spring Avenue, a predominantly black area in town. That's where the town hall meeting was held for the police chief. Well, when they find out Roy Jones is in town, they say, can you bring him over? The first answer, is no, we can't bring him over. He has managers, he has this. But he had a young boxer that came with him.
Oh yeah, he looked like he could fight good.
But why didn't he box?
The person that he was actually going against didn't make weight, so during that weigh-in, he came in and they told him how much he was overweight.
Woo.
And yeah, but he already knew that he was overweight, so they just kind of, I don't really understand what his plan or tactic was, like going in, like how he would, because I think it was around like I can't remember.
He
the
knew he
exact
was
number.
overweight, and they
But it
knew
was-
he was overweight.
Yeah, but he was still going to fight. They just gave him extra opportunity to lose the weight, but that didn't happen. They still paid him though. They paid Roy
Wow.
Jones Jr.'s boxer for showing up. They paid him because he was ready. He trained. He looked like he was ready to go, ready to get
But
in
he
the ring
was
and show himself.
overweight.
But his opponent was overweight, so he didn't show
So
up.
he didn't show up.
Mhm.
But Roy Williams, I went to talk to him. This is the boxer. He was great. He says, where are we going? Well, I don't know where we're going. But what happened, kudos to the police chief and to Major Quibb, Q-U-I-B-B. What happened is that the police and the major says, we'll send a car to pick them up. They would ride with the police. So they went to pick them up, to bring them over to the town hall meeting, and he actually spoke. Media was there. Media has been with us all weekend. Thank you to, and we're proud of our media. So, Roy Jones Jr. actually spoke at the town hall meeting to people. And he did tell everybody, I have been to prison. I've been all over the world. I do have money. I do have da-da-da-da-da. But he had, you have to, this is what he said, you have to depend on God. The person you really depend on is your creator. And his message was just resounding. His message, the room got so quiet. And here's a boxer, a world-class boxer, telling people how to conduct their lives. Now, he came early. He is friends with Floyd Mayweather. But he came early because he's on his way to be inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. I didn't know they even had one of those. Did you know that?
Oh, of course, Muhammad Ali's in there, Mike Tyson's in there. Of course, all the greats, big names in there.
Where is it? What is it located?
I don't know where it's at. I haven't been.
Well, we gotta go.
That'd be
Jacob.
fun. It'd be fun to go.
International Boxing Hall of Fame. I did write a little bit of a history about boxing because boxing actually started, of course, in England. It was a way for the rich to settle their differences.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
It is very interesting. Now, were we used for that?
That was before we were brought to America. I think the research that I did went back to the 17th century.
It's kind of like a dueling dispute instead of
Yeah,
shooting each
we've
other
had
with guns and getting
dueling,
in there.
we've had gladiators, and then we've had boxers.
Boxers.
And then
Okay.
it came to America, one of the icons that we would recognize through President Theodore Roosevelt. It's a great history because he loved boxing.
Oh, okay.
So, but in the 21st century, the African American has dominated the boxing
Every
world.
sport.
Yes, as a sport. Who else can you name? Boxers.
Well,
Ain't
of
Hulk
course,
Hogan a boxer?
Who?
Or he's wrestling?
Who?
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
I used to watch him.
Who is Hulk Hogan?
So, is he?
No, he's a wrestler.
He's
a
wrestling.
wrestler.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's
Yeah.
still a sport.
But it's not boxing.
No. Boxing is great. We've had a lot of fun with boxing, and we have already started some of the programs that the boxers have initiated. One is Gloves for Greatness. That is a program that Mayweather has. That's a program that Cedric Brown has, and those are our students. So we didn't have. Yeah, you worked with one of the students from
Marquise.
Javas.
Jarvis?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Marquise?
Javas. Marquise goes to Javas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we found. So we gave that group of young men boxing gloves so that they will be encouraged to stay in school. And they were already boxing. They were boxing on their own time, but they didn't have gloves.
Nice.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
I said, how do you box without gloves? He said, the way they do on television.
Nice.
But they were given gloves, and that's a program that's also on the internet. It's Gloves for Greatness, started by the Mayweather. So there's a lot of other things with missing black girls.
All right.
You had a comment about the killing this weekend.
Such
Racist.
a tragic story.
Yeah.
So sad that, that the world feel that we African Americans are such a threat. We are here to survive and to live and to cohabit just like everybody else, but it is sad that so much racism has risen so high in the land. And this killing that happened at the supermarket, as I was reading the story, it was planned, it was ordained by a white man. And why do the white man feel threatened by us black American people? I don't understand this. Now, we know that if this was an African American guy that went up and shot Caucasian people in a supermarket store, number one, he would not have survived. And number two, if they wanted him to survive, they would have scuffed him up, beat him up, brought him out of there, locked up, and would throw him under the jail, would be trying to give him legal injection
on the scene.
on the scene.
So what you're really irritated about? That was not a scratch on him.
Not
And
a scratch.
I have to agree with you on that.
And because they brought him out the way they brought him out, not a scratch, makes me wonder, is his parents is somewhat of an importance, is why it wasn't handled on the same line as an African American black male.
We've had that come in before. We were talking about how much respect this young man, 18 years old. I realize he's 18 years old. I realize there's probably an awful lot of other things going on. But what do you think? And I'll ask Mr. What do I call you? Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great. I mean, what do you think about the way the police? I love the police. The police are a necessary part of our society. Let's clear that up first. But why was that killer given so much respect? And I know that's going to be, I don't care if I do care. But if you disagree, fine. You can call us in. That's what I was going to do. Gabe, I don't have that number. 214-431-5032. 5032. That's 214
31.
5032. You can call in and express your opinion about it. And even when we're gone, you can give me a call. I'm totally accessible. But
Accessible to who?
To her audience.
To my audiences.
Yes.
You know what? This is so funny, but I do return phone calls, but you
Yes.
give me 24 hours to call you back.
Yeah.
The fight got us totally inundated, but you can call in. So how do we change this world? What one thing, two things that we need to do? We know about the disparity with the police departments, but what do you want us to do?
First of all, there's no more protect and serve. Policemen need to take that down because they're not protecting and serving the African American community. It is sad to say that we can call 911 and we are waiting sometimes for hours. Caucasian people can call the law, they're there in a minute, 10 minutes, sometimes less than.
Wow.
And there's
That's
no
response
more
time. That's response time.
response time, but there's no more protect and serve on our policemen. I don't trust the police anymore.
You don't?
I do not, because nowadays they're racial profiling for no reason. It used to be they just really did it to our black men. Now they're doing it to our women. Just racial profiling, stopping, just trying to find the cause. I live in Haslett, Texas, and I tell you, every time I drive through there in Haslett, the cops are looking to see if my inspection is correct.
Okay.
They're looking for a reason because I'm black. I've been over in Frisco. Policeman followed me. I'm sure he was running my plate.
Yeah.
I was over in a really nice area. What's she doing over here? She don't belong. It's racial profiling.
But he didn't stop you at that time.
He didn't stop me, but he was behind me running the plate, making sure she got insurance, because they can see if you got insurance, if you're legal, if your tags are up. Now, so tell me why he didn't get behind the other person. I wasn't speeding. He didn't stop me. So I was well within the law.
But it's disturbing to me if I have a citizen that says, I don't trust the police.
I don't.
We gotta trust the police.
I don't trust the
What
police.
do you think about diversity? What do you think about diversity on the police force?
The police.
Because I know our world is not white any longer. See, that's part of our problem. Our world is not white. It is so diversified.
But what has happened? First of all, the police have done so many crooked.
Just to touch on that diversity. The Latino community in America has grown double the percentage that the black community has grown in.
True.
So their presence has, as a minority group, has even trumped ours, even though that we've been here longer.
So what do you say? What are you saying? If we gotta have solutions. We all know what the problems are. So is the solution to hire more Latino police officers, more African American police officers? Now, that's one of the things the president has done. He has appointed people to his cabinet, to his administration that look like America. Okay, so what do you say?
Well, I feel like, me personally, the problem starts with identity. Like, these people are coming from different backgrounds, and once they get into a certain group, obtain a certain type of identity. So much so that I mean that maybe a black officer from South Oak Cliff who grew up in the rough, a really rough area, gets into the force, and then now he is a cop. He's not the same guy from South Oak Cliff. He has a brotherhood to protect, or like a family that he feels like he belongs to, so that he doesn't uphold the same values.
Okay.
So I feel like the issue starts with everyone's identity not feeling like they're all connected. Everyone's feeling like they're in these groups or segregated off into these sections, when really what we should be working towards is like having a feeling of connectedness through everybody. But that doesn't happen whenever we have, individuals who say, I don't trust the police, or individuals who say that the police are always trying to get me, or people who feel like, oh, the police don't ever do anything wrong, because there's, once we have that disconnect, or like once we don't have those connections, then everything gets how it is now, where we have people being treated unfairly, which is how it starts for me.
But then living in a democracy, now this is a question for both of you. Living in a democracy where we go vote, why is our voting rate down 7 and 8%? I mean, you can't. You got to say this, and and this is a grandson, he knows, all of them know that how the world really operates.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't go vote, why are you disgruntled?
Well, I'm a voter.
Okay.
And I believe in voting. I push
Good.
my family to vote.
Great.
And I wanted to bring up on what you were talking about is that, do y'all remember the story why I say I don't trust the police when they broke into the girl house, the African American girl,
Brianna.
shot her, killed her?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do that say trust the police?
No, but that's a lack of identity. They not in tune with their community. They have no presence in their community. They don't understand what the people are actually like whenever they're there. They don't know who lives where, but they should. Like, that's their job. If you're gonna protect and serve, then you should know where your people are at.
What about
Who
the
the people
guy?
are?
What about the guy
Okay.
with the mental illness that
Okay.
was on the ground crying, "Mama, Mama,"
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
and he was not, he wasn't showing that I'm a threat, and they need him. They roughed him up, and we supposed to trust the police?
We're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to come back with Alexander the Great and, of course, Pastor Charles. And get closer to the mic. I'll be right back.
We have the police that stop our boat.
Of course, the great Alexander the Great. And we're talking about the boxing this weekend. We're talking about students going to school, taking advantage of the scholarship funding. And of course, we're talking about the latest breaking news. Sorry about that. The breaking news of the racist shooting. That we have a caller. Hello, I'm Esther Davis. You're on the Esther Davis Show.
Hello, can you hear me? This is Jane Hope Hamilton.
Hey, Jen, how are you?
I'm doing well. Well, thank y'all for the show and all the issues that y'all are covering. My heart right now is with those families in Buffalo.
Yes.
And here locally also with Gabrielle McDonald, we have a lot, who's missing. And, it just kind of underscores, in Gabrielle's case that we really do need to focus in on our children of color who are missing. A lot of times they're overlooked. And so my heart goes out to her family. And, we're hoping that we find her and we're praying and we're hoping that the ending to this, story is that they're able to find her.
I know you want us to vote. We want our audiences to vote for Jan Hope Hamilton.
Yes.
Tell us how great you are.
Yes.
Because we got to go vote for you.
Please vote. Thank you for that. Please vote. A lot of people aren't realizing that you can actually vote today through Friday. We're in the early vote phase. It's only 1 week. You do not get a weekend. So it's Monday, as in today, through Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. in Dallas County. As you know, we are voting centers here, so you can vote anywhere in the county. Also, this district does cover Grand Prairie and Arlington on the Tarrant County side, and the election day is next Tuesday, May 24th. But look, we've been really calling this as it is. This is, another case of David and Goliath, right? And, and I say that because my opponent, Jasmine Crockett, tends to think that, a super PAC or one person, I should say, Sam Bankman-Fried, it's all business as usual with him coming in with $2 million in support of her campaign. And that's how she's been able to get on TV and, in the mailboxes and on the radio. But we need to say no to that. We need to show that Congressional District 30 is not up for sale, especially to someone who's never stepped foot in this district, doesn't know us, doesn't know our issues.
Right.
I'm proud to say that in this race, I am the only person who has actually worked in Congress. I've been a chief of staff to a member of Congress. I have worked on the U.S. House Rules Committee. I am extremely prepared to step in on day one and get to work. I am the most qualified. I am the most experienced in this race. And I also understand, in a time where we have such heightened extremism, as we see in Buffalo, we need people who are going to go to Congress and be leaders that are coalition builders. We don't need any more people who are divisive and that are going to go with a lot of high rhetoric. We need people who can get in Congress and work with their delegation as Democrats and work across the aisle and actually get things done. And that is what I'm prepared to do. I'm prepared to go in on day one, get to work, and to deliver results, because we, for far too long, have seen a lot of things that need to be handled and need focus on being ignored. And so I look forward to being able to use my skill set and my knowledge of how Congress works to deliver for Congressional District 30.
Wow, that is Jan Hope Hamilton. The good part about this is one thing that you've got to remember. You've got to remember she is the one most qualified. She's the only candidate that has Washington experience. She's extremely prepared. Right. And we are very, very aware that $2 million somebody has put into the campaign for Jasmine. And I want all of my audiences to understand that that is not money. We know where it came from, what are the purposes behind it. We want a candidate that's going to represent District 30. And that person is Jan Hope Hamilton. Say no, we are not going to have. We're not going to have people walking in telling us what to do. By the way, I live in District 30.
Right.
Yes. So we're going to vote for you. Thanks so much for calling in. Thank you for calling in. We'll keep talking, too, about you, even next week. We got to talk about you. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you, Miss Ester, and thank you, Pastor Charles. I appreciate what y'all are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you. We got hope. We got hope. We got hope on the job.
Hey, keep hope alive.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm excited. You got to win. We need you in the seat.
All right, y'all. Well, I'm working hard. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Candidates, now we have touched on this. We have touched on this a lot, because a lot of our ills is because we don't have people in office that agree with what we have going on, what is totally going on, what is absolutely going on. So we don't have a gunman shooting up a bunch of white people. However, However, I do have to say this. I was totally surprised at that Sandy Lake thing. That disturbed me so much when the kids were harmed, the children.
Okay.
So do we need do we need mental hospitals back into our society? We got a lot of mentally ill people out here. This is a question for both generations. I've got 2 generations here, almost 3 with me.
I'm going to be really quick. The problem with our country, state, and city is that we are feeding too much negative to the people.
Okay.
What I mean by that, you putting drug and alcohol in neighborhoods. Kids are able to buy and get it. You putting cigarettes, drugs into the neighborhood for the kids to get.
You mean the liquor stores?
Liquor stores,
Okay.
drugs, cigarettes.
You're talking about you poisoning the people, right?
Poisoning the people.
Well,
And
you
so when this get in the people,
Yeah.
it's causing the people to react and to respond in a way that's not positive. Well, not only that, let's talk about how in the homes kids are being abused and hurting people, hurting people, and they grow up hurting and they retaliate back and they become monsters. And they're growing up molesting, they're growing up murdering. It's what we're feeding them. It's what we're,
What we're putting in front of them in the home and in the community and the neighbor and schools and the schools.
Exactly. And we got so many homeless that's on the street.
But do we need more mental hospitals?
I think
Where?
we need more. This is what I believe.
Okay.
I believe we need more jobs where people can work because we got so many felons. Once you get a felon on you, you can't work. So what are you doing? You are pushing that felon to go rob and steal because you
Okay.
won't even give him a McDonald's job. We need jobs for the felon. They want to try to give us a system for them to go through, but it's not helping them to work to make money so they can stay out of jail.
You're bringing up a very, very important point, especially with your children. I wish we had brought your kids in, but that's okay. They have a computer in front of them. One of the things I think, we have plenty of jobs right now. We got more jobs running all down the freeway.
Not for felons.
No, we don't. We don't have any jobs for felon. But the point I want to get to is that the cell phone now is a computer. So all of the jobs that as we know as jobs today, are going to run away.
Yes.
To this young man, I know
The millennium.
that millennials love these robots. They love these robots.
Yes.
And they think a robot is going to run the world. And they've got a point. It is going to change the world. So what kind of job are you, what do you think millennials ought to be looking at versus their customary job? Number one is go back to school. That's number one right there. Get a skilled job because these old jobs are not going to exist.
Right. And it's going to get to a point to where if you don't have an education, you won't even just be able to get a burger job. They're
That's true.
pushing for that.
I think that's one of the things. I have this saying? Somebody gave it to me. The world will only be kind to the informed mind.
You love that one.
Yeah, I love that one.
You love that one.
I love it. Because that's a fact.
Honestly, personally, to me, I feel like my generation is a generation of creatives. We've taken a lot of first steps in a lot of directions that people in your generation just don't necessarily have a grasp on or seem to understand in the same way that my generation will. We grew up with smartphones and technology as it was coming through its most rapid form of advancement. That's why we're the most comfortable with it, and we're creating a lot more opportunities for ourselves to better our own positions, because the ways that you guys have made your money or you guys have gotten rich or like done things to establish yourselves in this world that's cornered off. That's cornered off. That's been cornered off by y'all. That generation, once it passed, like there's a great exchange of wealth coming right now, and it's probably going to, like, the 40-year-olds and stuff. Like my generation will have its time, but that's why we're creating our own thing, because a lot of things set up for you guys, such as let's just take real estate for example. Like for a person like me, like at my age, like that's a near there, like neither here or there. unless I make certain steps to like get into that position to be in real estate. But as the rates and the prices of stuff go up because of equity and the way that our world is like becoming industrialized, we have to go online. That's why there's all these online opportunities for us to make money, all these ways for us to invest, all these ways that you guys may think is a made up scheme. You know what I mean? Something like a scam. But no, our generation is very technologically advanced, and it's like that's why we're taking the steps that we are taking right now in this day and age. Like the people that are picking up on that, they're becoming millionaires. They're finding their way to a different type of bag, if you will.
But what we as the older generation had patience for, the millenniums are not.
Correct.
What we put up with, the millenniums will not.
Is that good or bad?
You know, it's really kind of a good thing.
Is that good or bad?
It's kind of good.
I would say, me personally, like I definitely know that in your guys' generation that you had a lot more harder workers, a lot more people that were willing and ready to put their nose down to the dirt until they found the diamond that they were looking for. Some people, or a lot of people in my generation, they come across their first obstacle, their first L, and they're ready to quit. They're ready to throw in the towel in because they're so used to being told that they're so great at doing this thing that whenever they come across something that they're not good at, they're ready to just give it up. And it could be the thing that, you know, they're supposed to be doing. It could be their passion. You know, whatever it is, it could be relationships, family. Like we have an epidemic of people who just aren't willing to hard work. Yeah, quitters.
But what I was talking about, I was coming from this angle to where we were, the older generation was more merciful. We gave more mercy. This new generation that's coming up, they're not finna keep putting up with this racism. They're not finna keep putting up with this crowd. These younger folks, the millenniums, I didn't talk to them. They sick of this. And what the millennium is going to start doing soon is retaliating back. And it's a good thing, standing up. It's a good thing. And I believe we're going to lose a lot of our millenniums because they're going to stand. Like Martin Luther King, they're going to stand. And they're going to fight back.
See, that's why we need more young entrepreneurs, a lot more young people trying to find ways to create money that isn't controlled by an industry or a system that's controlled by people who don't deem you worthy of doing anything. You have to create everything that you want with your own hands, and that's what I truly believe.
You have to create. Okay, if you create everything with your own hands, that brings up Bitcoins. Because this weekend at the fight, there were people there. The Bitcoin conversation comes up, and that's creating. Goes
Something
back to what you're thinking about.
That was created, yes, by, well, it's not really necessarily known, but it was created as a form of freedom from currencies that are known nowadays. And that's just by decentralizing it. No single person can control it. Yet everything is monitored. Everything is documented by the people. It's by the people, for the people.
Yes.
Wow, you know what? We have been talking almost an hour. I can't believe this. There's something wrong with your time here, Gabe, in this place. We started out with education, so we're going to end with education because I believe that the world is going to be only kind to the informed mind. So you're not in that position of not knowing how to use this thing completely. Doesn't matter what age you are. You're not going to be a part of the real new world order, so to speak. And that becomes very, very important because I don't understand. We're living longer. We're doing a show for veterans in a couple of weeks. I'm looking for 90-year-olds that 90-year-old veterans is what I'm looking for right now. I have two of them. They're turning 90 because that's the generation that brought us over. And Jacob just mentioned something I wrote down, and he says, we will find our way. So you got to use all the generations that are now here on Earth. And we've got to all live together.
Got to work together.
Now, we don't just have the generations, we have the cultures.
That kind of loops back to what I was saying earlier, the whole identity thing, you know. We're not feeling a connection between all these different...
So you feel ostracized? You feel like you're left out of what's going on?
Well, I don't necessarily personally feel like that. I don't necessarily feel a connect. Well, I guess in a way I do. I don't feel a connection towards the society that I live in, no.
Okay.
But I feel like a lot of people my age or from my demographic may feel that same way as well. They just don't know how to express it. You know, like,
that's a good point. I can understand that, and the only reason I can understand that because there's nothing new under the sun. My generation was the generation got kicked out of college. I'm talking about civil rights. My generation was civil rights, so nobody understood civil rights. It was all brand new. Along with civil rights, we had rock and roll. That whole I still think that's the greatest era in the world was civil rights and rock and roll. But in any event, the group, my dad didn't understand civil rights. he knew it was coming.
Mhm.
The people that prayed knew something was coming.
Mhm.
Okay, 30 years later, we're right back to the same stretch.
Mhm.
Because the college now, you have new classes in college. You can get a degree now in beer.
Yeah.
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 How to do
IPAs.
IPAs.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? See, here I am. What?
So you take wheat and barley and you mix it to a certain level. It makes the beer really strong. It's like a whole science now.
So is that why you can get a degree in beer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Miss Esther,
Yeah.
before we head out, let's just say to the audience, keep up with your kids. Because
yeah.
I was driving and I seen a young girl by herself. And the young girl looked as if she couldn't been no more than 10 or 11.
10.
Or 11. Too young to be out on a major street walking by yourself.
Yeah.
Parents, what are we doing? Where are your children? Even in the daytime. Is this got our attention too much that this is why our girls are missing, because we need to put these phones down, get out of the TV, get out these men's face and pay attention to our babies, our black girls. They are ours. They belong to us. We got to get it together, parents. Too many girls are missing. And once again, I'm telling everyone, they know when these girls are getting took, because there are cameras on every street.
That's right.
Cameras
and
on every corner.
And why can't they use
Ooh,
those cameras?
yes.
We love having her on.
So
We love having her on. We don't want our girls missing. We've been
No.
talking about missing girls. Keep up with your children, boys and girls. Thank you
yes.
very much, Alexander
Yes.
the Great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for having me on here.
yes.
We thank you. We want you to vote. And today is the last day for the HBCUs. Get on the website, get your name there. I am out of time as usual. Gabe is getting on me. And by the way, you really are. You really are.
Get the
You're great.
scholarships.
Get the scholarships.
Yes.
You really are the greatest audience in the world. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Woo!
Bye.